Alright, I'm ready when you are, bro.
Just like the same.
Test 1, 2, 3. We are here at Wanderers Football Park. Test 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, all good.
All good?
Yeah. grab my thread.
Wanderers and Sydney FC's NPL teams have provided a pathway to the A-League and abroad for some of Australian football's most exciting young ballers. And even though the future is always bright because those football factories will always churn, the current state of their NPL teams is a little bit desperate. Welcome to round 9, our match of the round here in New South Wales. Both teams desperately need 3 points because their position on the ladder in season 2025 is a little bit precarious. Let's take a look at the lineups before we start. Western Sydney so close last week to getting a point off the champions. They make one change and it's a big one as well. Let's start at the back. In between the sticks, Tristan Vidakovic is in number 1. Number 2 is Nathan Barry. Number 4 is Ricky Franson. Number 5 is Lachlan Tilk. Number 8 is Nicholas Badolato. Number 9 is Elite Abdul Rahman. Number 18 is A1 Dawal. Number 27 is Julian Kopp. Into the side, and what a handy inclusion to bring in a man who, in NPL circles, he'd be a veteran, but you guys will be familiar with him for his exploits on the field in the A-League. Aidan Simmons. Number 32 is Saxon Hillier, and rounding out the 11 is Richard Nkomo. Western Sydney's team. Looks like for the first time in a while, because of international commitments at youth level and the A-League men's team calling players up, was relatively stable. Sydney FC, unfortunately, with players away in Adelaide, with the A-League men's team, don't have the same luxury. They make 5 changes. They are still with Joe Hoofslot in goal. Number 6 is Tyler Williams. Reef Farias comes in wearing number 8, as does Matthias McAllister in 9. Jared Middleton is also in. He wears 15, and it's also the return of captain wearing 25, Alan Harbus. Jared Middleton's twin brother Lachlan is in 27. Joe Lacey is in 29. The 33 is Marin Franz. Into the side, the 5th of those 5 changes is Dylan Rose, and the 11 is rounded out by number 47, Corey Cronin. Wanderers get us underway. They are going from left to right on your screen in their iconic red and black, and Sydney FC in their equally iconic sky blue. Derby football at the NPL level. These two teams met twice last season in the NPL, and they split them. Western Sydney took out the first game early in the season to the tune of 5-2. Sydney FC returned the favour, winning later that season by 3 goals to 0. Sydney FC were enjoying some of their more experienced players dropping down from the A-League men's team to be young again. Jaden Kaczarski and Tiago Quintal both played 30 minutes last Saturday night as Western Sydney trying to press Sydney, force some mistakes. Sydney FC playing out from the back, and it might cost them here an early chance. But Abdul Rahman, he tries to flash it across goal. The rebound falls to Aidan Simmons. And a key block there. And an early chance. Exactly what their manager, Richard Cardozo, would have wanted to see. Great start from the home team. And if it wasn't for some brave last-ditch defending, it would have been 1-0 Western Sydney. Here they are, pouncing on a loose pass once again. Como coming up against his former team, one of many that have worn red and black and sky blue. Big tackle from Marin Franz. Energetic start to this game. As I was just saying before, Sydney FC don't have the luxury of 2022 New South Wales NPL MVP Jaden Kaczarski playing. He was playing in recent weeks, and it's no surprise that that coincided with much improved Sydney FC performances. He and Tiago Quintal away in Adelaide. To be young again, both of them played 30 minutes off the bench for the A-League men's team, and then the day later started Sydney FC's 2-0 loss to Mount Druitt last week. Here is Hoofslot, part of that Asian Cup under-20s. What an accomplishment that was for Australia to pick up silverware in that competition. Tiago Quintal also a part of that team. He's not here today. As I mentioned pre-game, if you're just joining us now, Sydney FC making 5 changes. Wanderers enjoying a little bit of stability. Just the one change, Aidan Simmons, and he almost made the dream start as well if it wasn't for a key block. Western Sydney came into this round 9 game in last position. Sydney FC 3 points better in 14th. That one's headed away and it's ended up in the field behind me. Perfect day for football. It's a little bit windy up here, so if you pick up some wind on my microphone, I apologise. But thankfully the rain stayed away and the weather gods have blessed us with a beauty out here in baby Wonderland. As Cronin tries to skip around the sideline, there's 3 Western Sydney players and he played on for a sec, but our referee Brodie Merchant calls it out for a throw-in. Despite the changes, a couple big ins for Sydney FC. Alan Harbus is one of them. Both these teams made good starts to the season in their opening 2 games, picking up 4 points, but then, as so often is the case with these A-League Academy teams, they fall victim to being a feeder team to the A-League men's team. Cobb tries to find the pass away, and he does in Como, but FC get back there and send it out for a corner. Right start by the home team. Goals has been the issue in 2025. Only 5. And they get an early one here in the derby. Denied a couple minutes ago. Chance to take the lead from the corner. One floated into the near post. It may have taken a Western Sydney touch. It did. Western Sydney protest, but out for goal kick. They have made the bright start, which is exactly what Richie Cardozo would have seen. I had the chance to meet him for the first time and speak to him as well, and he was very happy with his team's performance last week at Marconi. Football is a cruel, cruel game because very big shout at a penalty, let me put it that way, waved away, and then about 60 seconds later, Marconi go up the field and score from a corner. An own goal. It was a cruel goal to concede in the 85th minute, and they end up losing that game by 1-0, but much improved Western Sydney. And bursting forward now, hounded down by 3 Wanderers players. Frantic start to this game. Sydney FC looking to get a hold of it. Marin France, heavy tackle there. And a little bit of afters with Franson. Referee waves it on. Here's Simmons bursting forward and getting around Harbus. Looking for Lawal. Sydney get back there. Look to turn defence into attack. That ball looked like it went out. I had the perfect view for that one up here in the comm box, and it did. And the Brodie Merchant, I think, is just going to tell the players to cool down a little bit. A little bit of afters, and it's derby football, no matter the level. Player down here for Western Sydney. So it was Marin France, Ricky France are getting tangled up there, and there's a little bit of spice afterwards, but Brodie Merchant just cooled it off. Told the players to calm down a little bit. It's been a frantic start to this game, though. Western Sydney with a couple early chances. Sydney FC getting players back there, throwing bodies in front of the ball. It's Nathan Barry who's wandered off the field. Looks like he's getting repairs to his boots, getting a little tape job there. I'm sure he'll be back on, but until then, it's 11 against 10. Speaking to Vidakovic, ice cool there. And that's a feature of these academy teams. They are so comfortable. It doesn't matter from goalkeeper to striker. They are all confident and comfortable with the ball at their feet. Vidakovic there. I want to talk about great goalkeepers. We've got 2 of them locking horns today. Joe Hofslot, as I mentioned, part of that Under-20s Asia Cup team that took out the trophy. Gone up against Tristan Vidakovic, who started the season opening few games playing for the A-League men's team. And you just have a feeling that when you watch both these goalkeepers, they are destined for big things, both here and abroad. And that's what this competition and these teams have provided a pathway for, is a bit of space on the right-hand side for Tilt to find a cross. He tries it first time, it beats everyone. And it was Abdul Rahman who managed to get his foot to it and nearly turn it goalward, but it goes out wide, thankfully for Sydney FC, and a really positive start, not only from Western Sydney's number 9, but also the team in general. And as I mentioned, goal scoring has been an issue. Sydney FC playing out from the back once again. If you're a manager, Jimmy Van Wieren, a little bit of heart-in-mouth stuff, but I'm sure he backs these youngsters because, as I said, all of them have feet of midfielders. And here are Sydney FC breaking forward now. A little bit of space for Lacey. He tries to find Harbus, but Franson gets back there, and it's a long ball for Abdul Rahman, but the flag goes up. Dylan Rose, one of 5 changes for Sydney FC. Went down 2-0 last week to Mount Druitt. They were fantastic the week before against Sydney Olympic, picking up a 2-1 win. Got to call a game. They took it to Marconi as well. They ended up mixing it with the big boys. And when you look at their season, they made the great start. 2-1 up against our runaway leaders, Spirit, only to lose 3-2, which the longer the season goes and Spirit keep playing the way they're playing, that is a fantastic result. As Sydney FC pounce on the ball now. It's a low shot, but it was never going to test Tristan Vidakovic. And then you look, and it's managed to sit up. Grass might be a little bit longer. I think it's that heavy wind as well, just made that one sit up. Cronin looking for the 1-2. He was bursting down the left-hand side, and heavy challenge once again. And Joe Lacey gets a free kick as tempers are flaring here at Baby Wonderland. Anyone that wanted high-tempered derby football has got that in the opening 15 minutes here in Western Sydney. You can see by the way some of these tackles have flown in that it's a big 3 points. Both teams looking to make fighting for relegation a distant memory here, and you can see how much the 3 points means to both teams. And Brodie Merchant, if the opening to this game is anything to go by, is going to be a busy man. Dishes out a yellow card to Matthias McAllister and to Saxon Hillier. Cooler heads ended up prevailing, but here are Sydney FC with a free kick. Their best chance of the game so far from a set piece. It's going to be Corey Cronin to take it. Fiery start to this derby. Only thing missing is a goal. Bit of a delay here. He's going to be Corey Cronin to take it. Cronin, left foot, whips it in, sailing to the back post, and easy pickings for Vidakovic. This is the 9th game for both teams. Look at Sydney FC's results. That only real anomaly was a 5-0 loss to St. George City, but that can be excused. They had players away on youth international duty and also A-League men's duty as well. Apart from that, they've definitely mixed it with the big boys. They were good in a 2-0 defeat away at Apia. Very competitive against Marconi as well, and then picking up wins against powerhouses in this competition, Sydney Olympic and Sydney United. But they're going to have to defend this burst from one of their former players in Como, and he's brought down. Richard and Como, always exciting to watch, showing off his pace there. And all Sydney FC could do was drag him down. It's going to be a Western Sydney free kick here. Similar side to what Sydney FC had a couple minutes ago. That left-hand top corner. Here they are, though, with a chance to get a reward for their bright start. match of the round, the Sydney Derby. And jostling in the box there, some tall timber as well, but Hoofslot gets up there just like Vidakovic did a minute ago and shows off his arm as Sydney FC look to break quickly. A little bit afters once again. It's Middleton brought down, played on. Beautiful ball over the top by Lacey. Will it sit up for McAllister? He's going shoulder to shoulder with Barry, and Western Sydney defender does well to see that one out for a goal kick. Both teams, this is a feature of how they play. Live by the sword and die by the sword. Playing out from the back once again. Bit of tussling between Abdul Rahman and Williams. Franson just sends that one high. Sits up in the wind. The FC managed to bring it down. Looking for the long switch for Cronin, just over his head. Corey, part of a few ex-Manly youth players, well represented in this Sydney Derby today. As Kopp turns out and finds Cornwall, who has a little bit of space to find the cross, which he whips in. It's a good one. It's just over the head of Abdul Rahman. Bouncing ball. Sydney FC now looking to break. Another rugby league-esque tackle. It's Saxon Hillier, who is on a yellow card, and that's what the Sydney FC players are protesting. Decision for Brodie Merchant to make. He waves the players away, and I have a feeling he's telling Saxon Hillier, settle down. Otherwise, you'll be off. And I tell you what, the ex-Manly man might consider himself a little bit lucky to still be on the field on a yellow card. I have a feeling if he wasn't on a yellow, there would have been no hesitation to whip the card out there. But Brodie Merchant gives him his final warning. Sydney FC bench not happy with that. They thought it was cynical. So did the players. Abdul Rahman pressing, so is Luwal. Sydney FC looked to bypass that by going long, but it's intercepted by Tilt. Simmons going shoulder to shoulder. This has been exactly, it doesn't matter the level. If you're worried, what do you mean it's not an A-League men's or a women's match? Derby's not going to be that feisty. You've been proven wrong by the opening of this game, because it's been proper Derby football here for our match of the round. Franson, lovely ball, great touch as well by Kopp. Looks to play. Abdul Rahman has been busy. The opening of this game, he's hounded down by two Sydney FC players, and they send it out for a throw. Western Sydney need goals. Their manager was a prolific goal scorer in his playing days. Use a couple today, only 5 coming into this game out of 8. Cornwall, can they find one here? Float into the back post. It sits up. It was a nightmare for Cronin to deal with because he had the sun in his eye and the wind was wishing that ball around like it was in a washing machine. A bit of tussle for the ball now. And the best outcome for Sydney FC is a throw and a chance for them to work their way out of their half. Only 5 goal scorers, all on 1 goal apiece for Western Sydney. How they would love a spree of goals today, and all falls to Kopp. He's looked very good. Heavy a little bit of afters there. It looked like it caught a little bit of the ball from Farias, but Brodie Merchant, our referee, had the best view in the house, and he's pointed for a Western Sydney free kick. Might just be in shooting range. I tell you what, if they find the back of the net, it'll be a golazo and a half. A bit of a delay for this free kick. They're going to take it now. Can Western Sydney break the deadlock? Played out wide to Hillier. Lawal holds the ball up, does well, but final touch was a little bit heavy and Middleton sends that one out for a throw. Great start from the home team. Can they be rewarded with a goal? Something that's been hard to come by in 2025. They've been much improved. They were very good last week. Unlucky not to get a result against Marconi. They've made a bright start to this derby. Cobb, another heavy challenge and shouts of hey when we've heard a few of them today. That was from Matthias McAllister. He also has to be careful. The FC's joint top goal scorer in this competition. He's got 2. He's also going to have to play the rest of this game on a yellow card. His tussle with Saxon Hillier. It's been a feisty opening to this Sydney derby. The Sky Blues looking for a way out at the moment. Unable to build any sustained possession just like that. Intercepted by one of their former players in Cornwall. Lovely one-touch football there. And they go long looking for Lawal, but Slot was alert and got there first. No surprises, the Sydney FC play short. Seems to be the calling card for both teams. They don't go short that time though. Lovely ball. Can they get there first? No, it was beautiful from Nkormor. He had to be absolutely perfect there because he had Marin France breathing down his neck, and now Western Sydney get relieving free kick, and we got another player entering the book there. It looks like it's Tyler Williams, so that card book of Brodie Merchants is filling up like the Coogee Pavilion on a Saturday night. Another player goes in the book. Lovely last-ditch defending there by Nkormor, who's been good at both ends of the field, bursting forward down that left-hand side, but then getting back there to save the day for his team. And they play it back to Vidakovic. He goes long to Simmons. Absolute cannon of a ball and a great touch as well. Just as I say that, the commentator's curse strikes. UFC happy to play out from the back once again. Dylan Rose, bit of space on the left-hand side. He finds Lacey, who's been very good. Whenever the ball goes near him, he looks like he's going to make something happen. Can they make something happen from this cross? It nearly finds McAllister, but Francis got back there and sent it out for a corner. Lovely football. Sydney FC turning defence into attack so quickly there. Just a couple passes and they nearly unlocked the Western Sydney backline, but they will have a corner. Going to be Corey Cronin to take it. Sydney FC looking to respond. Western Sydney made a great start to this game, but the Sky Blues showed us what they were capable of there, nearly finding the opening goal. Can they find it here? Crowded penalty box. Vidakovic rises above the pack. Did he take that over the line? He juggled it. Referee says no, play on. Abdul Rahman bursting forward. Looking to play Lawal. There's a free man on the middle. It was Cop if they could find him, but Sydney FC get back there and defend. Simmons. The space out wide for Nkormor, who they find. Hillier. Hillier. Might have been fouled, plays on. Looking for the 1-2 off Abdul Rahman, he gets it. Now Sydney FC can break. Harbus, slightly heavy touch. Gets a fortuitous ricochet. Great ball for McAllister. Flag stays down. Vidakovic gets a hand on it. Will it go in? And an acrobatic effort to keep it out from Lachlan Tilt. It was so close to being 1-0. Matthias McAllister was in on goal. Looked to poke it past Tristan Vidakovic. And Lachlan Tilt at full stretch there, and he might have worn the brunt of the post, putting his body on the line for the team and preserving the current scoreline. Wow, best chance of the game so far. Just like that, Sydney FC breaking in a flash once again. Let's hope that Lachlan Tilt is okay first and foremost. It was a great effort. When Vidakovic made the initial save, it looked like it was going to drop in. High drama in the last few minutes. Sydney FC so close to finding the opening goal on a couple of occasions. I don't have the benefit of going back and checking if the ball crossed the line from a corner. I have a feeling Sam Yerman, though, who's doing our socials, may have got the best angle, so go and check out our Instagram stories. Maybe you'll see it. He tilts back to his feet, which is great news. What an effort to keep the ball out. Beautiful bit of play. First the pass, the run from McAllister, who stayed on side. He looked to poke it past Vidakovic, got a touch on it, and then it was so close to dropping in. Lachlan Tilt put his body on the line, wore the post, I think, as well, and looks to be okay. He's jogging it off now. Sydney FC take the corner. Wanderer's going to have to defend it with 10 men. Floated into the back post and over the head of Middleton and out for a goal kick, and it gives everyone here a chance to catch their breath. Frantic couple of minutes there. First, the disallowed goal. Maybe the no goal, I should call it, from the corner. And great save, and then body on the line defending. Sydney FC. Lovely feet there from Farias. Playing as a defender there, but looked like a Brazilian midfielder. Sydney FC look like they've weathered the storm here, and they're starting to wrestle control of this game. Bright start from Western Sydney. They nearly had the opening goal in the first couple of minutes, but since then, despite having a majority of possession, Western Sydney unable to create a chance as good as the one that fell to Mateus McAllister. And here's a chance out wide for Cronin. Fizzes it to Harbus. And it was an awkward one. He didn't know whether to take a touch or steer it goalwards, and it goes out for a goal kick. I think the flag may have been up anyway. No surprises, Western Sydney, the calling card of this match, both teams playing out from the back. Joe Lacey's been fantastic, pulling the strings. Attacking midfield position, here's Vidakovic, cool as a cucumber on the ball. He's got an absolute cannon of a boot as well. At the moment, all the bouncing balls and ricochets and second efforts are just falling for the team in sky blue at the moment. This man's been very busy as well. Cronin out on that left-hand side. Rice. Lovely composure there to evade the press and find the pass for Middleton. Thank God for numbers on the back of jerseys, because he's the twin of Jared Middleton. Lovely feet there. He's out for a Sydney FC throw. So you have to say, last 5 or 10 minutes, Sydney FC have been on top. The score remains 0-0. Nearly half an hour gone here, and it has flown by at Baby Wonderland. Sydney FC take the throw. Looking for a way past Badolato. They can't. Cop. Western Sydney unable to get out of their own half at the moment. Lovely feet. Can they find the cross? They play it along the ground instead. Great defending by Nkomo. Has been brilliant in this first half. Sends it away, but falls to Farias. It's wave after wave of sky blue attack at the moment. long, and they've threatened to unlock Western Sydney's backline a couple times with the long ball, unable to do it that time. If you want a reason to watch this game of football, you just have to look at some of the great young footballers that have played for these sides in the last couple of years. Western Sydney went through, probably call a little bit of a golden generation in the last couple of years. Players like Marcus Yunus, Nick Milanovic, and then for Sydney FC, Segicic goes out for Western Sydney throw. And but yeah, when you rattle off some of the names that have played in this competition for these two teams, and I'm missing some as well. Zach Sapsford, who's become a king of the Sydney Derby, played for these teams in this competition. Jake Gerwood-Reich, Marcus Yunus, the Bonatic brothers, Anthony Pantazopoulos, Jared Carluccio, Aaron Gerd, Alex Badolato, Hayden Matthews. So players that become regulars in the A-League, but also secured moves overseas. And in the case of Hayden Matthews, got a Socceroos call-up as well. Western Sydney looking to break now. Abdul Rahman's got a little bit of space. Tries to find the pass for Kopp. It might still fall for the Western Sydney number 9, and Sydney FC just send that one anywhere. These youngsters playing today looking to follow in the footsteps of that great lineage of players I just rattled off there. And I know I'm missing a couple as well, so apologies if they're listening or if you're relatives of those fantastic young ballers. Cormo. Big shout of handball. And then maybe a half shout at a penalty. Both waved away by Brodie Merchant. Harbus looks to get a foot in there. Falls fortuitously to Western Sydney here. Lual plays Simmons. Can he find the cross? Tries to find a little bit of space. Hillier! It falls for Lual. It doesn't matter anyway because the flag's up. Saxon Hillier find himself a little bit lucky to still be on the field. Was on a yellow card, and then a cynical tackle you'd see down at Combank Stadium with the Parramatta Eels. Could have very easily have seen him given a second yellow. Brodie Merchant just gave him the final warning. Middleton. Great to see twin brothers on the field today. Farias playing as a defender, but he's got the ability on the ball of a midfield, as we saw a couple minutes ago. Beautiful skill. Lockie Middleton. Farias, great pass. Unlocks Lacey, who's been terrific. Finds the ball for Harbus, who looked offside, and touchy on that far hand side, agreed. Sydney FC had the luxury of, in recent weeks, have been able to call up Jaden Kaczarski, Zach De Jesus, Thiago Quintal as well, who have featured regularly for the A-League men's team. Jaden Kaczarski's been a regular, although mostly off the bench, in Sydney's A-League team for a couple seasons now, as Farias and Abdul Rahman getting tangled up there. Don't have that luxury today, though. Players away in Adelaide on A-League duty. Still plenty of capable players here. It's an arm wrestle at the moment. And Como. Looking for a bit of space on there. His left foot draws a good save from Hoofslot. He's looked dangerous. Richard Nkomo, and he nearly had the first goal there. Joe Hoofslot had to be alert. I know it was at his near post. People like to criticise goalkeepers when it's at the near post, expecting him to save everything, but that was a rocket. And Hoofslot, the acrobatic save to send it out for a corner. Just when it looked like Sydney FC were taking control of this game. Western Sydney now have a corner and a chance to break the deadlock. Once again, plenty of tussling in in the penalty area. Player goes tumbling down, and it's a Sydney FC free kick. So that was an anticlimax. A bit of gamesmanship there from Abdul Rahman. Harbours finds Lacey. He's been very good. So close to setting up the opening goal, and he's won his team a free kick there. Francis not happy about it. They take it short and go out wide to Cronin. He floats it in. Oh, and it nearly fell for France, and it ended up beating everyone. Marin France joined the club as a 12-year-old. In 2019, that makes me feel super old. Was Sydney FC's rising star winner in 2024. His team's on the back foot though. They got huge tackle there from Middleton. That might have been a goal-saving one. Sydney FC looking to turn defence into attack. For a moment it looked like they were going to break, and here they are now, bursting down the right-hand side. Harbours takes a shot. Western Sydney able to throw bodies in front of it, sends it out for another corner. It's the identical spot to where the corner was taken. A contentious moment in this game. Vidakovic juggled it, and Sydney FC thought the ball crossed the line. What can Sydney FC make from this one? Cronin takes, floats it into the near post, testing Vidakovic once again. Tries the second ball and headed away. Ruckman pressing hard like he always does. Middleton, can he find the cross? He whips it in, but no one in Sky Blue was there. Former Sky Blue was there to mop it up, and Cornwall, and he does well to get around Cronin. Cornwall's been close to best on the field in this half. There's a bit of space out wide if he can find it. It ends up falling to Simmons anyway. He's got Lual to his right. He finds him, A1 Lual going up against Middleton. He holds the ball up. Back to Simmons. Can he find the cross? He's going to run out of room. And it goes out for a goal kick. Well defended. Good recovery by Sydney FC. And it's been a feature of this Sydney derby in the first half. Teams countering in a flash. One of the rare times he's gone long today. Western Sydney win the ball. Bursting forward is Barry. Looks up, tries to float it to the back post. A great ball and a good touch by Abdul Rahman, and it nearly drops in. Hoofslot was a full stretch. Lovely football from Nathan Barry, the defender. France tussling with Till. Acrobatic, brave effort. It's kept the scoreline at 0-0. Preventing Matthias McAllister from scoring his third goal of the season. Cornwall bursts forward once again. Finds Abdul Rahman, has drifted out wide to find a cross. He was looking for Lual, but it's headed away. Ball's to Lacey. He's been very good. Looks for the outside of the boot. I gave him the commentator's curse there. Tilt intercepts. Till. He's continued his run, and they find him. Looks for the cross, but heads over everyone. Abdul Rahman will do well to keep it in, and it goes out for a throw. About 6 minutes to go in the first half. If you're just joining us now, both teams with chances to break the deadlock. The best one undoubtedly falling to Sydney FC's number 9, Matthias McAllister. But the score remains 0-0. Harbours, one of 5 changes. Sydney FC with players missing on A-League duty. He was a big in. Falls to McAllister. Tries to thread it through for Cronin. Flag was up anyway. This is our match of the round for round number 9. Season's flying through. Of course, the clock's changed tonight in New South Wales. That means football's going to get a little bit colder and darker, unfortunately, which isn't good. People like myself and my cameraman who have to brave the cold, but the football is good like it has been this afternoon. You're warm always. He's hitting the deck. It's up the ruckman, and it's been a fiery derby. If you are a neutral or you want to just see good physical derby football, and you've been treated to exactly that. Here's Tilt. Hayden Simmons, captain today for the Wanderers. What an inclusion. Looking for the 1-2 off the wall. The pass was a little bit behind him, and Lacey, he can keep it in. The chance to break for Sydney FC. Harbus. Franson came flying in. 5 minutes to go here. Score is 0-0 in Baby Wonderland. No goals yet. It's been a theme for both teams. Struggles in front of goals. Western Sydney only scored 5 goals this season. Sydney FC have been held goalless in 5 of their last 6. Simmons looking to burst forward. Chased down by his opposite captain, and here's Sydney FC's captain who tries to get rid of it, but it falls to Saxon Hillier, who might shoot. He does! And Hoofslot had to catch that one cleanly because Lual was ready to mop up any crumbs if he rebounded it in his direction. That could have been 1-0 Western Sydney. Good alert goalkeeping by, I was just about to call him Sydney FC's number 1, but he's wearing number 30. But number 1, no doubt, for this NPL team. Farias bursting forward. And France, delicate little ball. McAllister in for France once again. McAllister so close. Wasn't for some good goalkeeping by Vidakovic and some brilliant, brave defending, he would have had our opening goal. This man's been terrific as well. He tries the long shot. Seen quite a bit of that in the first half. Both teams trying to shoot, but the opposite team getting bodies in front of the ball. Harbus. Cross that goes over the head of everyone, and it falls to Kopp, who's happy to see that one out for a goal kick. Despite their position on the ladder, both these teams definitely improved. Western Sydney last week, much better from the perspective of their manager, Richie Cardozo. Sydney FC have been improved in the last few weeks as well. Still plenty of the season to be played. Still plenty of football in this one for either team to steal it. Score is 0-0. This would be a precious 3 points. Western Sydney came into this game in last position. Sydney FC in 14th, 1 position above that dreaded promotion relegation spot, which is where they finished last season, as well as Western Sydney get a free kick. And period of the game's been a little bit of a lull period as we head towards half time. Fizz has come out of it a little bit. It was a frantic start. Chances, heavy challenges, push and shoves, everything you'd expect in a derby. Only thing missing at the moment is goals. Badolato. This man has been in everything. Como cuts inside this time. Had Abdul Rahman peeling out to his left, and he finds him. Lual holds the ball up, looking for Nkomo, who tries the shot. End up almost turning into a great pass for Kopp, but Fizz past the Western Sydney youngster, and he does well to trap Sydney FC. right in front of that corner post. 90 seconds or so left to go here in our match of the round in Western Sydney. Goalless at the moment, but ultra entertaining. Still a chance for either team to get a priceless goal right before halftime in Cornwall. It's going to come from anywhere for Western Sydney. It looks like it's going to be down his left-hand side. Ruckman finds Nkomo once again. He's looking for Lual, who does well to hold it up. He lays it off to his captain Simmons, who cuts in and shoots, and a great low save by Hoofslot. The closest Western Sydney have come to scoring this afternoon. It was beautiful football. Lual holding it up. It's a high boot. Just when it looked like this game was sleepwalking to half-time, it picks up once again. First the chance from Aiden Simmons, which drew a great save, and now the heavy challenge was a high boot. Free kick blown straight away. Brody Merchant's gone over to have a chat to his assistant, and it's a free kick for Western Sydney. And a red card! Sydney FC reduced to 10 men right before half-time. They can't believe it. The boot was high and the colour is red. Wow, we said this game has been high drama. That has just taken it to another level. Sydney FC reduced to 10 right before half-time, and this has now become a golden chance for Western Sydney to get 3 points here. Sydney FC going to have to navigate the last couple of minutes of added time and the rest of the second half with 10 men. Auckland Middleton shown red. Sydney FC down to 10. And Western Sydney with a chance to cash in straight away from the free kick. The boot was high. And after a chat with his assistant, Brody Merchant, who's been very busy in this first half, shows Lachlan Middleton a red card. Western Sydney from the free kick. They floated in. Hoofslot got up there. They headed away. It falls to Kopp. He's unable to get clean contact. It falls now to Nkomo. Abdul Rahman. This is now a golden opportunity for Western Sydney. They've been unlucky this season. They've been on the receiving end of a couple heavy defeats. Now they have a huge opportunity to get 3 points against their rivals, but they're going to have to defend this counter-attack. There's no one in the middle for Harbour, so he tried to go on his own. There were players falling all over the place. Derby football. This is why you love it. The game has been goal light, but drama high. We are into 2 minutes of added time here. The big talking point. Lockie Middleton shown a red card. Straight red for a high boot. Sydney FC going to have to play the rest of this game with 10 men. Western Sydney came into this game rooted to the bottom of the table with a golden chance to get their second win of the season. They go long looking for Kopp. Might sit up on that grass. It does. Ball still in. It falls to Kopp. It's a chance for Abdul Rahman and off the line. Another huge chance for Western Sydney. The ball looked like it was going out 2 times. It fell to Abdul Rahman. It might still be a chance here for Western Sydney. And now the referee has blown in the direction of Western Sydney. Corey Cronin Can't believe it. It's a free kick for Western Sydney. This could be the last chance of the first half. So close to getting the opening goal. Abdul Rahman cleared off the line. Great football by Julian Kopp to keep it in. Western Sydney might still get their goal here right before half time. This should be the last action of the first half. A game that's had everything except a goal. That would have been an acrobatic one. Ball's still there. Badolato can't get his shot away. Harvest, his body on the line to prevent the shot, and that is that. What's been a super entertaining first 45 minutes here. Sydney Derby, match of the round, has lived up to the hype. It's a game that's had everything except a goal so far. Sydney FC, though, going to have to do it the hard way if they get their third win of the season. Lachlan Middleton sent off right before halftime. A golden chance for the Wanderers to get win number 2 of the season. We'll be back on the other side of this break. It's Western Sydney 0, Sydney FC 0. Teams are back out for the second half, and at halftime break, hope that gave everyone watching a time to catch their breath, because that first half had more drama than an Italian soap opera. We had everything. Fights, chances, cards, yellow and red, everything but a goal. And Western Sydney with a golden chance now to get win number 2 of the season. They will have the men advantage, but Sydney FC get us started in the second half. And on the ball, halftime sub, Joseph Kalisic is on. Alan Harbus making way, so Sydney FC forced into a tactical change there, because if you're just joining us now, Lachlan Middleton was sent off right before halftime, and Tyce McAllister, who had Sydney FC's best chance to break the deadlock, is fouled. Wanderers looking to end a run. They have one win in their last 21 games. A run that spans midway through last season as well. Now, of course, that can be excused. They have players leaving, coaches leaving. Players being forced to go on breaks as well. And, of course, the big one for these academy teams, players called up to the A-League team. Of course, in 2024... after 11 games, Western Sydney were our runaway leaders of the competition. They won 10 of their opening 11, and then players were sold, namely to Perth Glory. Cops fouled there. They lost, who at the stage that he was sold, he was the top goal scorer in the competition. Nathaniel Blair went to Perth. Adam Bagaria went to Perth. Of course, their manager last season, Andrew Christensen, left. So lots of change for Western Sydney, and some of the results they rattled off during that run at the start of last season was scarily impressive. One of those results included a 5-2 win over Sydney FC. It's 0-0 here, but a huge chance for them to get their second win of the season. Free kick floated into the back post, and it's Hofslot. A full stretch once again that may have been creeping in. This wind is unpredictable. It's whirling around like a washing machine at the moment. Western Sydney, just like they did in the first half, making a bright start to the second. This man's probably the man of the match so far. Richard and Cornwall. Cobb. Tyce McAllister, who Sydney FC now down to 10. He might be feeding off scratch, but will hold the ball up. Second time this half, winning. You see the relieving free kick as the wind, you might be able to hear on my microphone, really picks up. Disaster, not only me and my cameraman getting sunburned, but now we've got air in our eyes as well. You can see the effect of the wind with that ball there. It's sat up like a magnet was dragging it backward. Of course, Western Sydney here. Big tackle by Lacey. So good with the ball at his feet in the first half. What he can do in defence as well. Cronin also pretty good clearing and clean up the run. Like a chance off the line right before half time. No doubt Western Sydney's best chance in the first half. Hayden Simmons drew a really good save from Gus Hofslot. Now this game has been flipped on its head. The Wilds dispossessed thanks to that red card. But here Sydney FC are with a numerical disadvantage, and Tyler Williams thought he was fouled there by the Wild, and Brody Merchant agrees, and another player goes into the book. That book is turning into the Old Testament. That in this game, proper derby football. Doesn't matter if Sydney play Western Sydney, water polo. Doesn't matter the age group or the level. Whenever these teams meet, any level of football, any age group, male or female, it is always fiery. And this match of the round is no different. turn. He finds the wall. He's in a little bit of space. Tries to release Abdul Rahman, and it's offside. Number of these Western Sydney players have tasted A-League men's football. I think Abdul Rahman is one of them. Coming off the bench. Like he was shot out of a cannon, making his debut against the Bulls and flying into a challenge against MacArthur and almost sparking a brawl. Youthful energy. Keen to make an impression in this game as well. Western Sydney's number 9 so close to scoring the opening goal. But Sydney FC have shown they can be rapid on the counter-attack. Speaking of rapid, there's Nkomo trying to header it away. Barry sends that one into the sky. Good luck bringing that down. Lacey does well. Badolato going shoulder to shoulder with Rose. Sends it forward looking for Lual, who's held the ball up on a number of occasions and done a decent job at it as well. Nearly set up Aiden Simmons late in the first half. Score remains 0-0. Floated to the back post. No surprises who's there. Nkomo, and flag goes up. Delayed flag. Here is rapid Richard Nkomo. Looking for the 1-2. Can't find it. Rose gets back there. He gets a free kick. And the only thing that's been worked harder than these players in the opening 50 minutes here is Brody Merchant's whistle. So it's another whistle. He's been a busy man. Fading the press well is Lacey. Can't get around tilt there. Nkomo with some space. Driving forward is Nkomo. He deserves a goal. He tries it, and it's a great low save from Hoofslot. It might still fall from Western Sydney, and another save at the near post. It was Kopp. Hoofslot stands tall, and the score remains 0-0. Lovely football once again by Richard Nkomo, who found himself in some space, put his head down, drew the low save, and then the rebound would have been cannoned into the near post if it wasn't for Gus Hoofslot, who's starting to rack up a catalogue of saves in this game. Corner to be taken by Badolato. Tussling going on in the box once again. It's a looping corner, and I think the wind may have played a part in that. It loops straight over the crossbar now for a goal kick, which they take quickly. Looking for McAllister. I mentioned just before, he's going to probably have to be working off scraps. Simmons. Badolato. Cornwall with a bit of space once again. Runs across, it's a good one, looking for Lual, but header away, and it falls to Lacey, whose heels were clipped, and so relieving free kicks. And both these teams made the one change each. Anthony Barbage coming on for Western Sydney as well. Joseph Kasalic has come on, force change coming on for Alan Harbus. Sydney FC try and navigate the rest of this game with 10 men. Wanderers with a bulk of possession in this second half. You have a feeling that's going to be the case for the rest of this game, as they have the man advantage. Go looking for Kopp, who's been good. Lovely touch. Infanto Rahmani. Probably assumed that Kopp will be more advanced because he's been terrorising that left-hand side, but not that time. Ball goes out for a throw. See, go long. McAllister. bit of a heavy touch there, and I spoke about the scraps that McAllister's going to have to work with. He would have loved it there. They're going long for Simmons. Ends up falling for him. Good touch. The Western Sydney captain. What a player to be able to bring into the team for Richie Cardozo's played over 40 games. Western Sydney Wanderers A-League team. A veteran in these NPL circles. Cop for the reverse pass. The FC getting bodies behind the ball. All 10. Behind the ball and preserving his 0-0 scoreline. Driving forward, looking for Wild. It might still fall there for Simmons. He's gotten through a sea of bodies, but at the last moment there, diving in was Middleton, and didn't the FC just send that one anywhere to safety? Dangerous on the counter-attack, but now with a man down, you have a feeling that that's going to be the way they score their goal, if they are to get one. It'll be another 40 minutes of this. They're defending wave after wave of Western Sydney attack, and maybe it would jag one. We've seen Western Sydney lose football games in cruel fashion in the NPL. They are in the box seat here. Score remains 0-0 though. Ilya running the wild, holds the ball up well for Badolato, and he drives that curling shot straight into the outstretched arms of Hoofslot, who is in no rush to take this goal kick, unsurprisingly. Hoofslot goes long. And that, use a rugby league term, is a little touch finder. Straight out for a throw. Cornwall takes lovely turn by Saxon Hillier. Sent two Sydney FC players to the canteen there. Now they break Simmons with a bit of space on the right hand side for Barbic. If he can keep it in, he slides, but it goes out for a goal kick. Lovely football. The ex-Manly youngster, Saxon Hillier. Western Sydney going to make a double change now. It's Abdul Rahman coming off. Luka Knezovic. And Edmund Haddad coming on as well for A1 Lual. So a double change for Western Sydney. An attacking change as well. Two exciting youngsters coming on. And Knezovic. Marconi headaches last week. He came on, thought he won his team a penalty, and referee disagreed, and then Marconi 2 minutes later got up the field and scored from a corner, and is the definition of football is cruel. But can youngster break open this game? Double change. Abdul Rahman coming off. He was so close to getting the equaliser. Slot is a short. It's intercepted by Franson. Here is Knezovic. Another one of these exciting Wanderers youngsters. Trying to clear the ball, but every time they do, there's a Wanderers player waiting on halfway, ready to send it straight back in, and Cornwall. Hillier. Branson. Looking for Hillier. There's a little bit of space out wide for Cornwall. Fizzes a low ball in. It beats everyone. All it needed was a red and black jersey on the end of it. It might still fall for Western Sydney here. Barbic. Western Sydney unable to break this sky blue wall at the moment. All 10 players behind the ball from Sydney FC, who had a player sent off in the first half. Lachlan Middleton is off, and Cornwall whips the ball in. Hasilic does well to head it out, but once again it falls straight to a player in red and black. Hillier. Space on the edge of the box for Haddad, and it's another great low save by Hoofslot. And the substitute, Edmund Haddad, nearly had a goal with one of his first touches. Might still fall here for Western Sydney. Barry and Cornwall dancing on the edge of the box. He's looking for the 1-2. Falls back for Barry. All Western Sydney at the moment. Go long, looping ball over the top for Knezovic. Flag stays down, plays it back across goal for Nkomo. It nearly took a ricochet and went in, and thankfully for Sydney FC and their goalkeeper Joe Hofslot, it fell straight into his lap. It looked like, from my angle, it might have taken a little deflection. And somehow, the score remains 0-0. Richard Nkomo deserves a goal. I don't do the 3-2-1s, but he's got to be a huge shout for the 3. Nice, calm work there from Barry. Instant impact from both Western Sydney substitutes. Added a bit of energy up front. Here's one of them, Knezovic, trying to get through a sea of sky blue bodies. Tugged down was Cobb. Bodie Merchant straight away though with the finger wag saying no way. And then Sydney FC get a relieving free kick. They're going to make a change of their own. Zach Flower coming on for Matthias McAllister, and Joe Lacey coming on as well, and double change for Sydney FC. Zach Flower and Samuel Lancaster coming on. Fresh legs of Haddad pressing for Rias, but very comfortable. The ball at his feet, the Sydney FC youngster. Here he is again. Confirmation of that double change. Lancaster and Flower on. And Lacey and McAllister off. The FC dispossessed. Here's Knezovic. Tries to find Haddad. Unable to bring the ball down. And Flower's first touch is getting tangled up with Hillier, who's been in everything. He's also on a yellow card. He thought he had a foul. Referee had the perfect view. France, that is a foul, surely. It is. And Ricky Franson gets a spot in the book. That book is turned into a shopping list. Franson, yellow carded. Sydney FC with a rare chance in this second half to make something happen. 10 men of Sydney just had to sit back and repel wave after wave. Western Sydney look for that priceless goal in this match. It'll only be their 6th of the season, but it'd definitely be the most important because they came into this round in last position on 4 points, 3 points behind Sydney FC, who sit 2 points above the Mariners in that promotion relegation slot. Rias, lovely ball. Might sit up here for Sydney FC. They floated to the back post. Vidakovic was there for a second. It looked like it might fall to France. Lovely football. That man is going to have to deal with this ball, and there's shouts of gamble, gamble. For Rias, calm and composed once again. Badolato gets around Rose. With Badolato, he tries to find the cross. His jersey tugged and pulled. Ransom wins the header. Wide to Richard Nkomo. Knezovic and Haddad have both been good since coming on. It's another substitute who made an impact then. Heavy shoulder-to-shoulder challenge from Flower. Sydney FC with a throw. Teams have made 3 changes as they look to win this derby. They split their 2 meetings last season and nothing to split these teams so far. Despite Sydney FC being down to 10, they're holding on at the moment. Nothing for them in terms of chances in this second half, as you'd expect. 10 players behind the ball for a majority of it. They go long. Looking for Flower. It might still fall for him. He's having his jersey tugged. He thought he was fouled. He was tangled up with Franson there, who got a yellow card only a couple of minutes ago, and he thought he was fouled. Rare chance for Sydney FC in this second half. Wanderers going up the other end. Cornwall floats a cross in, headed away by Sydney FC, holding on any way they can at the moment. Hillier plays it back to France, and he's been involved in everything in the last couple of minutes. Carded and then getting tangled up there. The FC thought they had a foul and wanted it to be 10 on 10. Still 0-0 at the moment though. Barry. Badolato dropping deep. Great switch from Cornwall. So much traffic has come down that left-hand side. He cuts in, plays it back to Badolato. He's looking for Knežević, falls with the youngster once again. Barbic looking for the cross. He floats it to the back post. He was looking for Kopp and it goes over everyone's head and out for a goal kick. After this game for Western Sydney, they take on Manly next week. We saw Sydney FC get a point off Manly a few weeks ago, and a massive game for the Sky Blues in the context of staying up. They take on the Mariners Academy. Mariners in 15th, Sydney FC on 14th. And the team with the man advantage came into this in rock bottom. They would leapfrog the Mariners momentarily with a win today. Promotion relegation playoff is not a spot you want to be in. We saw Mariners survive it last year. Western Sydney looking to get off the bottom of the ladder here, and they have a chance to break the deadlock. Now Kopp was looking for Knežević to continue his run, and might still fall for Western Sydney though. Hillier, well won against France, looking for a cross, can't get it through. Two Sky Blue jerseys there, and they did very well to keep it in. Rose, just as I say that, Cornwall's there to intercept, and Flower, it's been good and energetic since coming on, and I have a feeling Richard Cornwall's going to earn himself a spot in the book as well. Central Coast, that team sandwiched between these two teams. They played last night. They went down by 2-0 to St George FC, who've been fantastic in season 2025. They're up to 5th with that win. That means that this is a huge 3 points on offer for our match of the round. Chance for Sydney FC to put some breathing room between themselves and the bottom two, and a chance for the hosts to get off the foot of the ladder. They've got a golden chance here, but the score remains 0-0. They've had plenty of chances, and Hoofslot making his case for a Team of the Week appearance with his heroic between the sticks for the Sky Blues. The score remains 0-0. Knežević looking for the switch. Simmons goes out for a goal kick. Slot in, no rush to take this goal kick, and I don't blame him. He has been under fire since Sydney FC went down to 10. Knežević. Sydney FC with a rare foray into the Wanderers half. Looking to force a mistake here, but Wanderers calm on the ball, and just as I say that, they give it away. Rare chance in the second half for Sydney, but closed down straight away by Hillier. Zach Flower could have pulled the trigger there. He's been good since coming on, as has this youngster. Luka Knezovic tries to cut in, and Rose did well to come back, and he was tracking the Wanderers number 10 the whole way. 20 minutes to go here at Wonderland. As I mentioned before, the context of this game, these 3 points is huge because the team in 15th, the Mariners, lost last night. You get another change, another double change from Western Sydney. Going to be Khan Nizam and Dallo Sandy coming on. Nathan Barry, one of the players coming off, so attacking double change by Richie Cardozo. Going all out. Saxon Hillier, the other player making way. He's been in everything as well. He was involved in a very contentious moment. Maybe a little bit lucky to still be on the field, but he had a great game. Definitely made the most of his second chance, that's for sure. He makes way, so double change. Hillier and Barry off. Khan Nizam and Dallo Sandy on. Khan Nizam, a prolific goal scorer in the under-20s, yet to get a goal for the NPL first grade team. Cardozo would love nothing more than a goal and 3 points here. Here is the substitute, Sandy. Ball may have trickled out there. Looked like it was going to for a half second. He ended up getting across in, and Cormore, he deserves a goal. He's been brilliant today. Richard Cormore cuts in on his right foot, hits it at off slot, and he tips it over the bar. Richard Cormore causing havoc once again. Haddad to take the corner. It's a low one to the the front post, I beg your pardon, and a bit of debating going on. Sydney FC are adamant. Took a Western Sydney touch last, but the referee, who definitely earned his money today, Brody Merchant, points to the corner. He goes short this time to Simmons. Bursting forward, evading a challenge and having a shot as well. And if it wasn't for the header over the bar from Jared Middleton, that may have been in. The FC throwing everything, everyone in sky blue behind the ball, preserving this 0-0 scoreline. Another corner for Western Sydney. Put a bit of GST on that corner, it looks like. Badolato. Nick Badolato takes another looping one. It nearly went all the way in. It's been a nightmare to deal with for both goalkeepers, particularly from this end, and that ball got stuck in the wind, put in the washing machine, and it nearly went straight in. Off slot tips it over the bar again. Another Western Sydney corner. Can they make one count? Haddad fizzes it in, and it's nearly headed in by Knezovic. A flat corner this time. Western Sydney's number 10 got the flick on, but unable to flick it on goalwards. Score remains 0-0. Tay Headley coming on for Sydney FC, and Aaron France coming off. So despite being down to 10, Sydney FC with an attacking change. Bringing on Tay Headley. Made the switch from the Mariners Academy. Something you see a lot of in New South Wales players switching not only between Sydney FC and Western Sydney, but all the academies that play at the various levels across the New South Wales NPL. Can we get a winner here? This Saturday afternoon, I've said this a lot, but we have had everything but a goal. This game has definitely been light on goals, but definitely not light on entertainment. Goals has been the Achilles heel for both these teams. You have a feeling that the next one could be the 3-point ceiling goal, and Dallo Sandy, only been on for a few minutes, wins his team a free kick. Lato looked like he was going to take it quickly, but decided against it. Barbage. Cornwall. Franson was looking for his right back there, but sends it out, and Sydney FC just work precious seconds off that clock. Without a doubt, given the context of the game and their position on the ladder as well, I'd be much happier with a point than Western Sydney would be. As I mentioned, that run that Western Sydney have been on, of course, nothing to do with these players that are out on the field now. It's almost an entirely different team to the one that we saw last season, but a run of one win in their last 21 games. Stretches back to halfway through last season. Here is Dallo Sandy. They'd love to end that run today. It falls to Knezovic. He puts it away, but the flag went up straight away. And the game remains goalless. It's a beautiful finish. Knezovic, who's been very good, and you can see why he's so loved here in Western Sydney. They have big raps on the number 10. Here he is pressing, trying to get an error from Farias, who's been so good on the ball. It falls now to Knezovic. He gets around Hoofslot. The angles are cute. He looks for a player in red and black. It falls to Badulato, and it's an unbelievable save from Hoofslot, who makes up for the juggle. It might still fall for Western Sydney here. Sydney FC just send that one out. And Farias, who's been so good and so comfortable on the ball, was dispossessed there. Hoofslot had a little spill, but then makes up for it with one of the best saves you'll see all season to deny Nicholas Badolato and keep this score at 0-0. I said Richard and Cornwall was a shoo-in for the 3 points. I tell you what, Gus Hoofslot, he's a huge shout now. Looking for a chance. Here's Sandy. Tries the outside of the box. Outrageous curling effort. Not that time. Players starting to feel the effects of this heat. It's not as hot as it was a month ago. Players starting to cramp up and do their stretches. This man, though, should be fresh. He's come on and made an impact, and Farias does brilliantly there. Rare slip up from him. Rare chance this, a rare foray, should say, into the Wanderers territory by Sydney FC. Here's Headley. He's fouled, so a chance for Sydney FC now. Sandy gives the free kick away. And a chance for Sydney FC now, who have spent basically the entire second half defending. This would be Western Sydney lost in cruel fashion last week. This would be particularly heartbreaking for Richie Cardozo's men. A player up for the entire second half and a bit of the first. Headley. The FC's first chance since going down to 10. This would be a cruel blow to Western Sydney. His game is in the balance though. They are hanging on and a chance to steal a goal. They're tussling. And plenty of fire and passion in this derby. We've had everything but a goal. Chance for Sydney FC to get it here from the set piece. It's Headley. It's a good ball. It beats everyone. It falls to Sydney FC. It's Kasilic, who had a shot flash across the goal, and it remains 0-0. Sydney FC's best chance, well, their only chance of the second half, falls to the defender who was thrown on at half time for some much needed defensive reinforcements, and he nearly had his second goal of the season. Out wide for Nkormor. Anyone deserves a winner. It's the Western Sydney left back, Sandy. The space out wide. Lovely one-touch football. It forced Western Sydney, flashed across goal, and it was the substitute there. Knezovic was at the back post. If Hoofslot couldn't deal with it, but Sydney FC's goalkeeper alert once again. He kicks that one, and I tell you what, it almost landed in my lap. Cobb urged to drive by his teammates. Western Sydney have done everything to score, but as it stands, the sky blue wall has stood tall. Plays it out wide, and Cormor drifting centrally. Plays it out wide to Sandy. He's looking for a bit of space. A couple step overs. The FC doing anything they can to hang on here. They think they have a goal kick. The referee agrees. Gus Hoofslot in no rush to take this. Western Sydney players want 6 seconds. Tell you what, that rule has gone extinct. Headley, lovely ball. Rare chance for Sydney FC here. Flower floats it to the back post. And Cronin happy to see that one out for a corner. Sydney FC, we saw this a lot in the first half. Countering rapidly. Zach Flower, wearing number 19, has been very good since coming on. FC not happy to just sit back and try and get a point here. They want 3. FC not committing too many players forward, but how they would love a goal to break the deadlock. It goes to the back post, looking for Kasilic, but it goes over the head of everyone and out for a goal kick, which they take very, very quickly. Sit up here for Haddad, it does. He's going against Lancaster. Outrageously quick, that goal kick. Knezovic looking for some space. Sandy plays it out to his captain, Simmons. Can he find the shot? 3 Sydney FC players in front of him. 2 enough. Dylan Rose looking for some space. He'd love the whistle, and he gets it. It's been a brave effort. We're going to get another change. It's going to be Junior Conde coming on for the Sky Blues. And it looks like Corey Cronin's going to make way. He is going out on that far hand side. Corey Cronin. If they do, Sydney FC hold on to a point here or more. You can look back. His clearance off the line to deny Abdul Rahman is one of the reasons why. He comes off for Conde. FC defending once again. Knezovic trying to get around Farias. Farias throwing the arms around there. Seen a couple Parramatta Eels-esque tackles there, and Farias joins the book. FC doing whatever it takes. The referee's book is turned into the yellow pages. There's that many names in it. Of course, the big talking point in this game, the red card shown to Lockie Middleton. The FC have done an amazing job to hold on to what would be a precious point. Big reason is that man between the sticks, Gus Hooflot. He's been in everything. Low free kick, headed away. Flower done very well, working off the minimal ball he's seen. Sydney FC committing everyone behind it. Can Western Sydney find a winner? They've had chances saved, corners that have nearly gone in, balls cleared off the line. Sydney FC, though, with a chance to counter. It falls to Flower. Was that a handball? No. He's got Headley at the edge of the box. Unable to find him. Williams. Lancaster tries to bring the ball down. This would be heartbreaking for Western Sydney. They conceded a late own goal to go down to Marconi last week. This one would be even more cruel. Off slot. Does well there. Uses his head. Sends it out for a throw. Western Sydney unable to take the throw as quickly as they took that goal kick before that was shot out of a cannon. Bartolator's brought down by Headley. Does this match of the round have a dramatic final chapter? It deserves a goal. Knezovic. Cop. Lovely ball. It just skidded past Knezovic for a second. He does well. No, to hold it up. Haddad looking for some room. Flashes it across goal. Simmons was there, but so was Kasalic. Vidakovic in the Western Sydney goals, urging them to whip it back in. Nizam looking for a shot. Half second there. Like might have tested off Slopper. Sydney FC. This has been the second half in a nutshell. Holding on for dear life, and apart from. There we go. Joe Hofstein earns himself a spot in the book for some time wasting as well. That one had been coming, to be fair. Apart from a Joey Kalasic chance which flashed across Tristan Vidakovic's goal. Sydney FC defending for their lives this second half. Middleton, his twin, sent off. His team holding on. Urgency now creeping in for Western Sydney. They do not want a point here. I'm sure their manager wears his heart on his sleeve. It would feel like a loss. Williams bursting forward though and dragged down by Sandy. He was collared there, Gordon Tallis style. He's going to earn himself a spot. Brodie Merchant's book. That's got to be at least the 8th player booked. Thankfully, clear skies in Sydney, no rain, but it's been raining cards. We've got a card shown to the Sydney FC bench. So we need Ty Headley though to take this free kick, and Sydney FC could grab a goal, it would be the definition of a smash and grab. Headley to take it. FC, of course, in no rush to take this. A man down. They let precious seconds come off the clock here. Western Sydney aren't happy about it. Headley will eventually take it. And they find a goal which could be the winner. It's floated into the backstitch. Kalusic heads it across goal. He's adamant there was a handball. Wishful thinking by Sydney FC, according to our referee. Flower gets his head on it. Kalusic has been causing problems at the other end of the field. He was brought on as a halftime sub to shore it up for Sydney FC, and they're going to get another free kick here, which Headley's going to take again. Sydney FC dropped 3 players back, wary of the counter-attack. 0-0 in the derby. It has had everything except a goal. Can Sydney FC, against the odds, against the numerical odds, find it here? Headley to take. This would be a cruel blow to the Wanderers. Loops it to the back post. Kalisic again is there. It's fizzing around. Just send that one out. Anywhere will do for Western Sydney. Nizam trying to find some space, unable to get around the defender there. Franson. Cormor bursting down the left-hand side. If you can see him, he does, but great work by Dylan Rose. Barbic. Sydney FC send that one away. They send it over my head, nearly onto the M4. This game has had plenty of that. Very neatly, a lot of off the ball stuff. Very fiery derby. Will it have a goal though? Sandy looking for some space. It falls for Knezovic. Flag goes up straight away. Didn't matter because it was another great save by Offslot. He did put the ball in the back of the net, but the flag was raised before, and it's raised once again. Sydney FC play it down now. Western Sydney aren't happy about it. The Sydney FC player receive a treatment. Let's just have a reminder of the context here. Western Sydney came into this game in last position. A win would see them leapfrog Central Coast Mariners, but they would be in 15th position. Sydney FC are in 14th. If they were to win, they'd put a bit of breathing room between them and the bottom 2 spots. Of course, in New South Wales, last is automatically relegated. Second last has to go into a promotion relegation playoff against second in League One. Those games are absolute cinema. Both these teams looking to avoid them though. Sydney FC did narrowly last season. Western Sydney, thanks to their electrifying start, didn't have to worry about relegation last season, but this year looking for win number 2. Huge opportunity to do so, but the minutes are ticking away here at Baby Wonderland. Barbic grew up playing as an attacking midfielder, transitioned to a defender, and he puts it down to a growth spurt. Cop. Sandy had ants in his pants there. He wanted the ball straight away, but Badolato, calm head, comes over and says, let's make this count. Sydney looking for their 6th goal of the season. Goal scoring has been an issue for both teams. Staring down the barrel of another goalless performance. UFC would be their 6th in their last 7. Unless either team can find a goal here. Badolato floats it in. It nearly goes all the way in. Did it go over the line? It's a foul. Gus Hofslot may have ended up in the goal, but he was pushed. We saw Tristan Vidakovic in a similar predicament in that exact same spot in the first half, off a corner. Almost juggling the ball and ending up in the back of the net. Go long. Conde hasn't seen too much of the ball since coming on. No surprises though, Sydney FC just with everyone behind the ball. Flower's been good since coming on. He may have left a little bit on Franson there. Off slot. If the score remains 0-0, I have a feeling the man with the ball might be getting the 3 points and a spot in the team of the week. He has made a catalogue of great saves here, and it's no wonder he was a part of the Australian under-20s team that won the Asia Cup earlier this year. Sydney FC down on troops, down a man, hold on to a precious point. For Western Sydney, it has to feel like 2 points lost because they played the entire second half with a man advantage, unable to break the deadlock though because of the man in between the sticks for Sydney FC, Gus Hofslot. He was fantastic. And this derby, don't be fooled by the scoreline, it was fantastic as well because it was a game that well and truly had everything. Chances, cards, both yellow and red, fights, everything you love about derby football. Thank you so much for tuning into our match of the round. So plenty of football coming up this weekend, live and free on our YouTube as well. So make sure you tune into that. But my name is Adamo Denegris. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a lovely weekend. Full time here at Baby Wonderland, Western Sydney 0, Sydney FC 0.